Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here first of all, and thank you for continuing the support that you are giving me, liking and subscribing as always. So this is a DWP video. Just want a quick FYI just to react to some people's comments. We are a news channel, just if you're a little bit confused what we're about. So we do news content from up and down the UK. Could be a whole range of factors, but the biggest bulk of our channel is disability and benefit support, which, you know, at the minute in time in the UK is a hot topic, and therefore we'll continue supporting people up until that ends. Right, let me just get into this video. Some of this content may not be nice for people, but I'd rather be honest with you and just tell you as it is up front. Any news or any changes that I've heard on the grapevine, let's get into it, guys. Okay, so basically what I'm going to talk about today, and I'll try and keep it as brief as I possibly can, is the confusion about the potential upcoming PIP changes, universal credit changes, that kind of thing, because there's been a bit of confusion with people. Some people believe that the changes are already in place now, other people have said it's not, so I'm going to try and break down this barrier for you all to understand it the best way possible. At the moment in time, there's an ongoing consultation, as we are aware, with the government, which ends on June the 30th, to the potential changes, for the benefits. So that would be the personal independence payment, the 4 points that we keep hearing about, the LCWRA entitlement for universal credit, the freezing of that, and the limiting it for new claimants, the work capability assessment, again, all these random changes that are coming up, basically, including new style JSA and ESA, as well as assessments. There's a little bit of a confusion, and I'm just going to read a few things to you guys to explain what's been said, what's going on, and what the next steps are. Okay, so basically, and this is all online for you to see if you're not sure whereabouts it is. I'll put links down below. As we all know, at the minute in time, there's a government green paper, which effectively just means it's about proposed changes under consultation, which of course ends on June the 30th this year. Now, the key elements from this, these are the main changes that are announced. So the personal independence payment changes, which means the 4 points in a single daily living activity to qualify, but you still require a minimum of 8 points overall. Then, of course, there's the universal credit standard allowance increasing, but the LCWRA element of that would be frozen and obviously restricted towards new claimants. It then goes on about work capability assessment, scrapping it completely and introducing a single assessment in one. There's also new style GSA and ESA and assessments overall. Now, what I want to talk about is something that's popped up, where under these proposed changes, which would mean that we have to wait till June the 30th before any decisions are made overall. However, something's crept into the woodwork, which effectively would mean that these proposed changes are already introduced, but not yet lawful. So what I mean by that is the following, okay? The DWP have stated that the following changes are not being consulted on. So the changes to personal independence payment are not being consulted on as part of the green paper. The universal credit element and also the disability element being frozen or tweaked is not being consulted on. And the work capability assessment is also not being consulted on. So, effectively, what this means, and I'm going to read this as it is put on the page. The consultation ends on June the 30th, 2025. However, because the DWP has chosen not to consult on most of the major issues, including the changes to PIP scoring and the freezing of the health element of UC, it does not have to wait until the consultation ends before bringing forward new legislation for these changes. The DWP have said they want to introduce legislation in this session's Parliament, which ends on July the 21st. So, it is possible legislation to enact some of these changes, especially to PIP scoring, could be introduced as early as this month of May to try to prevent opposition to the cuts building. So they knew effectively the opposition would be very high. The change to PIP scoring would still not take effect until November 2026, but the law enabling it could be firmly in place very much sooner. For the limited range of proposals which are being consulted on, a white paper will be published later this year with legislation to follow later. In addition, details of scrapping the work capability assessment and the use of the PIP assessment entitlement for the UC health element will be set out in the white paper, although they have not been consulted on. So this is a bit dangerous. Effectively, what it means, and this is where people have been saying to me, well, when I've spoken to certain people in the DWP, they've said this and they've said the following. Okay, it's important to know currently there is no change. So if you're undergoing an assessment now, new or a reassessment, they shouldn't really be using this new scoring criteria. Okay, so just bear with me on that one first of all. Second of all, there's been a bit of confusion about the so-called new personal independence payment consultation form, and I've seen it on channels across YouTube in which apparently there's a new form you've got to fill in and it goes along with these 4 points. They are not using this. It doesn't actually exist just yet. Okay, they have what's called a draft, so a draft exercise form paper for when it does become legislative. That's a tough word. A legislative law abiding thing. So for the time being, the consultation document that you've got is the same and nothing has changed. However, certain people in the DWP do think it's changed, and unfortunately, because of this and the fact that they know they're not going to consult on this, they think that potentially these changes have happened now. So that would cause a few problems. I can see a lot more tribunals personally, because a lot of people at the minute in time could undergo their PIP assessment and find that they would lose it based on this, which wouldn't make any sense because it's not currently eligible or in law. So what can we do? I'll be honest, not a great deal. Again, we have to literally wait, and as harsh as that sounds, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or the bringer of negativity, and I try and bring a bit of joy to your life if I can. Unfortunately, you are limited, I am limited. There is not a great deal that we can do apart from support the people who want to stop these changes. Just please bear in mind the government has come under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress at the moment, which may indicate, and this is what normally happens, potential changes or tweaks to their current green paper, or a proposal to squash the whole thing entirely. There's different figures being thrown around. You know, people have said 40 backbenchers from Labour MP, 80 backbenchers. Let's be honest, they need at least over 110 to challenge any legal replacement for Keir Starmer. You won't get to 110 because the majority of Labour MPs, unfortunately say it, they're a yes man and their career goal motivated. You can see it. They won't want to lose their job, so they're going to vote in favour of the cuts, despite the fact they don't want the cuts to go ahead, many of these. So it is unfortunate that we are facing this situation right now. So all I would advise is the following. Let's wait until June the 30th, just to clarify and confirm what's been said after that, if any changes do go ahead. If you're told currently there are any new documents coming out for PIP point scoring or PIP assessment, take it with a pinch of salt. I strongly advise not to use it and use the documentation provided by the DWP, which would be accurate and up to date. And of course, for the love of God, as always, don't pay for it, because there's a lot of scammers out there. So hopefully I've explained currently what the situation is like. It is worth pointing out that, again, after June the 30th, if anything does change, it's not going to be up until November 2026 at the very earliest. Again, it's all subject to change. There could be tweaks in there, could be amendments. We physically just do not know. So for the time being, this is my final video on anything to do with the PIP assessment and changes or universal credit information, purely because there's no new news. If anything does come up, I will of course let you know in a video, as per usual, but for the time being you will see more news stories about benefit claimants, abuse and treatment from the DWP and third parties. They're coming into videos very shortly, and of course there'll be any other emails, which we've had one or two from DWP admittedly and staff that work there, which I'm just going to troll through individually and look at them and see if it's worth making a video on. If it is, again, I'll post it for you. But for the time being, thank you so much for your support as always. Like I've said, guys, if you want to continue helping support the channel, just liking and subscribing. It's totally free. That's all we realistically need. There's a dollar symbol down there if you want to tap that. Make a quick donation. It's up to you, you don't have to. And of course, there's a Ko-fi page. Again, links are all down below. Click Ko-fi to show your support and yeah, make sure we carry on going. So on that note, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great week ahead. All the best to you. Thank you for your love and support just recently. It's been emotional as ever. And I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.